Welcome to Enlightenment TV. Today's video is the grand season finale, and you will be revealed today why this channel is called Enlightenment TV, because I didn't just come up with this for no reason. I came up with this based on this meditation that I'm going to share with you today. And yeah, the TV part is basically television, right? So just to give you a frame on what, when and how. The meditation happened pretty much 8.5 years ago. The way I saved it up in my mind was, it was 2 weeks before my first son's birthday. But it could have been 2 weeks after his birthday. I am not sure anymore. I would have to check up my notes. I made a note straight away after it happened. And the meditation itself was in Germany at my parents' house. And an important detail, my head was facing direction of sunrise. This will be important later for the decode videos. So now the way this was. The starting position was the position of the unborn child. I called this meditation that way because the unborn child is always being shown in this position, and it's like the most protective position of them all. So I started this meditation like this, and then you can imagine if you like fully let go, the legs and the arms will just break apart. And this one time, what happened was it must have been all perfect, and like everything must have been fitting, so that's why this happened. So my hands, you know this like from working or working out in the gym, whatever, that when the hands are sweating, they build up like a gluey, sticky surface, you know. And this is what happened, like, and the moment I remember, I just like, oh wow, the meditation is like successful and seems to work out. At the same moment, I feel just like my back becoming liquid and becoming super warm, and I feel like I'm melting into the ground. The next thing that happens is I'm just like, okay, that's like, it was like, the feeling was like, yeah, probably like a child would feel in the mother's womb, you know. Like I feel so welcoming and super protected, and like, I don't know, it was like, whatever, one of the best feelings I ever had. So as I'm melting down into the earth, it feels like that much safe, you know. It then goes full autopilot, and this is where I knew whatever's going on is now autopilot. Like I have no more control, it just happens, whatever happens. That moment I felt like my arms and legs were to open like this, and the same moment this happened, energy flow from my feet and from my hands, and when the energy would flow, it would meet exactly here. And when the energy from the hands and feet, like when it met here, I at the same time felt like someone was hitting me with a hammer, and the hits were felt like here on the chest, you know, on this middle bone. I think this would be the solar plexus, the whole thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, if it's a solar plexus, it felt like I was hit on the solar plexus, and it felt like I got like shocks out of my chest when they showed those reanimation pictures, you know, and those people just like get like those shocks out of the chest. This is how it felt. What I forgot to mention, the whole meditation took like 3 to 7 seconds. So those hits were as well like 3 to 7 times. So the middle would be like 5, you know, so about 5 hits I felt. The next thing, the energy, like after the fifth hit or whatever, the energy blew into my head, and as it did, basically just imagine you look at the black screen, right? It's just black, and my eyes feel like when you see those Olympic weightlifters and they raise their super heavy bars, and when they have them on the very top, you see like the elbows are shaking, you know, because like of the force that's being put on these elbows. And this is pretty much how my eyes felt. I felt like there was such an epic energy pressing through from the outside to the inside, and then the black screen basically just had two medieval doors, you know, like those, like they show medieval doors, and they would just open to the inside, so the force would just, you know, open them by force to the inside. So the black screen would basically get like a tiny ridge when the doors would open, and it would be just white light. So at roughly about this stage, the sequence stopped. You know, so black screen, it's all black. I feel the force pressing through. It opens till about that, and then next sequence. Now this sequence was like sort of the craziest and like the least understandable. But I will show you the images which I've prepared, so then it will become probably better understandable. I feel like I'm laying down on something. I was laying down on something, and then I feel, I don't know how many configurations it was, but since it must have been the gyroscope, it was probably a triple ring configuration, so it was just like a triple configuration. And I felt like, as I say, I'm laying on something and I'm in rings. I'm laying on something and then in rings. That's all I can say how it felt. And then I feel like being in those rings, like when you will see the gyroscope, like when rings within rings, when they adjust. Like there was another scene, the birth of the Silver Surfer, and another birth like of a superhero, and where he would just lay on something, and then there would be this triple ring configuration, but I could never find the scene again. But when I show you the rings and the gyroscope, it will probably be more obvious how it felt. So I just had this feeling, as I say, it's nothing. It's just only this feeling, me feeling being in the rings and laying on something, and feeling like something's configurating and something's happening. Then the next thing is, it's like all gray, so it's like two configurations, and then with the third configuration, but as I say, it is a guess, it could have been again like 3 to 7 configurations, but I think it was 3, and it was like so everything is gray, and the only thing I see is like one black sand bit. If you just take one sand bit and it was completely black and everything else is gray. So I see it like kind of like rising, and then the next thing is it makes a circular shape again, and while I see this little black sand bit, I know that everything that I am is this sand bit. You know, like everything that I am in terms of energy, everything that I am is this little black sand bit. So it's rising, and this is again where like a visual comes. The moment it's rising, it makes like a turn like this. So I mean, imagine it you're feeling this ring configuration. So then you still lay down in the rings. Then you see yourself as this sand bit, and basically everything happens at the same time. You know, like you feel this, you see this, and yeah. And I don't quite remember, but I think it was like this. The sand bit would travel on a black path. You know, that's why, like I said, this bit was the craziest. It's just like it happened so fast, and like can't tell for sure. But I think it was traveling like on a black path, so I would see this black ring, probably, but I'm not sure. But anyway, it felt like to be traveling in a circular motion. Now the way I show this is exactly how it happened. Like, as I say, I mean, like the screen is still here when you close your eyes. You know, so the screen is sort of in the head. You feel like you're in the head. So it would be rising like this, and then it would make a circular turn. And I would assume that it was the heart. That the turn was like this. And from there on, the next thing, like, so as I say, everything that I am is this little sand bit. It goes like this, and the next thing is it goes back and shoots into my head. And what I see is, I figured this out like later. It would be exactly the third eye. So the third eye, if you like look at the 2D animations of the brain, it's basically the root of the brain, right? And it also looks like this Egyptian eye of Horus a little bit. So the image that I'm seeing then is, it would be like a 45-degree angle, you know, so it wouldn't be only in front of me and it wouldn't be only above me, but it was like in front and above me at the same time. So which then means it can only be the 45-degree angle. And as I'm seeing this, I'm knowing straight away that everything that I see now is the whole universe and my brain at the same time. Like, I just knew this. And the image stayed, I don't know, 1/10 of a second, half of a second, maybe a second, whatever. So something like this. And before the image closed in and I was back again to normal life, so to say. Just before it closed, I just knew, slash I got told, slash whatever, higher self or whatever, just an info download. I knew that everything in this world is holographic. I just got told. And the last image that I've seen, it's all black, and you have pinkish and greenish stars. It's just like little light orbs. And everywhere, but more like felt in the middle were those pinkish and greenish light orbs. And also everywhere was the golden brown dust. Everything was sparkling from the inside, so there was no external light. All the light would come from every single object. So the pinkish and greenish stars, the light orbs, would be more like in the middle, and the golden brown dust would be like everywhere, but I kind of felt it to be more on the outside of whatever I just see. And the way you got to imagine this is exactly like this. It's first of all, when you have those glass balls with this artificial snow in them, and then you have photos, and when you just shake it up, so the very last moment when it's rising and then it's falling, this moment is like how should I put it? It's like it's moving and standing at the same time, you know? So it's like it's moving so slightly that it's basically standing, but yet you know and feel it's moving. So this is how this moment was. And also how this moment was is absolutely, literally like fireworks. You know, like exactly like fireworks. Now when you see the firework, I mean it is exactly like I said, you know, the sand cone, the sand bit, boom, into the head. This would be like, also one addition, that sand bit could have also gotten all the way through to the root chakra, you know, it could have been, but I always assumed it's the heart, because the turn felt like it was going into the heart, but as I say, I can't tell. I mean, as I say, you just can't tell for sure. So at the moment when you start the rocket, right, you just don't see, and like I said, it's, you know, just bam and in the head. You don't see the rocket going up, and at the very end, when the firework explodes, you have like this mushroom of light, you know, in the firework, whereas here I would either say it was just, oh no, electricity. So it would be like, it would be just like a ball, or maybe a torus, just a single donut torus thing. Not sure, I couldn't tell, but it was bomb blowing up. And okay, electricity back on. And so the last moment when you see the fireworks, like usually it has like a couple of sequences, like boom, 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 boom. And this last sequence is exactly like this picture was. You know, the last sequence is so crystal clear to be seen in the night sky. And the same moment you can grasp it and hold it is the same moment it's gone. You know, so that's how it was. So it's like literally the same moment you see it, it's gone. The same moment you have it, it's fleeting away, you know, it's like this golden brown dust. I would say it was like sand. It was like sand bits. You know. And like I say, it felt like to be everywhere, but kind of more on the outsides, whereas the bigger orbs would be more like in the middle. Okay, now I show you what I've prepared, because this is where I've seen. Okay, this is where the energy met. There you can see Schlüsselbein in German. Schlüssel is key, you know, so that Bein is leg. So between those two, this is where the energy met. Now I have no equipment and nothing, so I must show you this. Yeah, this is there you see the gyroscope, and this is basically almost like a trick shot. You see those 3 rings, but okay, I put this more into the decodes. This is a sequence from Westworld, I think, the introduction, the human in the rings. This is where they make them. There you can see just the leg and the muscles in here. The leg is already fully melted.
And the reference to this is also in the Da Vinci picture, this famous Da Vinci picture where you see the man standing in the square and in the circle. So again, this is the, so this was the sequence with the rings. Okay. Now here's the golden brown dust. It's not like this, but here you can just see the golden brown shape of it. Here you can very well see this, like this glittering flaring effect, like on this bit, on this bigger bit. Now this is roughly how it looked, though those bits were smaller, but this very good represents the density, kind of, you know, this was the density of it. So black screen and roughly this density, and this then is the best representation I found so far. It's not like, not little ops, but it was edgy stuff, as I say, like sand bits. Okay, now the video's upside down the way I'm holding it, but doesn't even matter. So this would be kind of the density of how it was, and this was the best way I could describe this golden brown dust. This, I would say, were the orbs, perfectly pink, pinkish and greenish stars. That's the way I always used to describe them. And there's the pink orb, and like the way, so the colors would be like this, you know, but the looks was like this, like those two, like this white part in the middle was roughly like you see on those two. So those pinkish and greenish stars all over the place, and then the dust. Okay. Now let me click on this to show you. I assume that's why it was a triple ring configuration. There you can see it, you know, this is how it felt. It was vroom, vroom, something like this. Okay, I think that's that. If I forget something, I put it in the description. And yeah, from here on, basically most of my videos will be dealing with this sequence that I've seen, as I say, this 3 to 7 second sequence, so roughly about 5. And I'll give you all the decodes and all the things that I found out then eventually now throughout those 8.5 years about what those things mean, and so on and so on. So yeah, if you liked it, I hope you'll share it with a few friends. And yeah, like I said, that's the reason for this channel being called Enlightenment TV. I told you the vision, and there will be at some point a better visual version of this, but I don't have my equipment available. So as soon as I have that, you'll get that. Okay, so see you in the decode videos, and thanks for watching.